welcome back. We're having a bit of a shift in our schedule this morning due to the weather. Our mayoral candidate for interview is a bit delayed. So we are going to start off our conversation with the representatives of the newest digital travel show that will be launched on Facebook tonight. And it's called Belize, Mek We Go. And we have two guests with us. Obviously, they're very familiar faces to us here at Open Your Eyes. We have Kuyen, who is one of the co-hosts. And we have Maynor Larrieu, who is the creator and also a digital marketing strategist. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Marlene.
Good morning.
Okay. Sean, I'm a bit worried when you're that quiet, but we'll get around to it. So let's just start off with where this idea came from. Maynor, we've had you on so many times talking about capitalizing on digital marketing. How did it transform into this?
I think you'll have to invite me a second time to do that, but I'll try my best to just make it brief into maybe like a 2 sentences. I think the idea, going back to what you mentioned, came about because of all this knowledge that it's readily available out there and nobody, again, is capitalizing on it. For the longest, I've had an idea of doing something like this, larger. And I started planning and I said, I need a stepping stone. So this project is actually a stepping stone to something larger. And then we did a quick video, I think in See and Taste in October with Sean, and it went viral. And that was my quest to find a host. And then I said, I need somebody else, and then we found Jer, who was very free-spirited. She's a travel junkie. She's actually out of the country. And they paired really well. So I said, the rest is all history.
And so this is going to be a part of your online platform. And you said it's tapping into one of the newest features of Facebook.
Yes, actually one of my midterm goals is to capitalize on what Facebook calls Facebook Watch, which is like their Netflix version of Facebook. We've sent submissions, but they need to see a couple of episodes before they actually take you in that platform.
Okay.
And there's a lot of caveats, like they don't want you to put it on YouTube. They only want you to put it on their platform. So that's one of the things that we're still up to today, even to the launch today, which is going to be a Facebook Live at 9:15. We're only doing all the push digital strategy on Facebook.
So most importantly, it's free.
It's free, yes.
Oh, it's not a paid subscription like Netflix.
No.
So, and the concept, local travel. Tell me about that.
Wow, I think for the longest, and Sean could tell you a little bit more about that, and I think Sean and I and a few of the crew who's worked on the show have been blessed with traveling Belize. And a lot of times you meet people from Corozal who haven't been to Kikakar, or people from PG who haven't even been to Cayo. And the right outlet is just not there in terms of, there's information out there, but I think enough, like a travel series, targeting locals to get to know more about their country and inspire them. And not only that, because at the end of each episode, we're going to be giving away the very same experience Sean and Jer had. So
it gets better.
It gets better, yeah. So we're not just inspiring you to travel, you actually get to travel if you get lucky, right?
So Sean, tell us about your experience so far with Belize, Mek We Go.
Well, I always, even in my cooking or anything, I am very patriotic. I love Belize very much. And when you ask about traveling, and it's interesting that he said that people from Corozal have never seen Cayo and stuff like that. I am very fortunate. I have traveled this country like under three capacities. I traveled as a band member. So I see the nightlife, I see all of the crevices, and then I've seen. Then I had a great show with Marlene called Great Belize Cooking. This is one now you're going to interview the chefs and the people that cook the food every day. So that second time was, again, we went to every district. And now again, I'm traveling, but I'm traveling like a tourist, like a local, traveling like a tourist. One thing I could tell you that Belizeans are hospitable people. I mean, that's my industry. This man is the marketing strategist, and he have to sell a product. Well, that's all good because they're behind a computer and everything, but we are the faces of it. And Belizeans, hospice is to take care of. You go to the hospital, make they take care of you, right? We are naturally sweet people, man. We go in a people's house, they take care of it. Nobody really give us no bad face. So it's very, very easy. I've met and we have interviewed, like spoiler alert, we interviewed some amazing people, humble, how they start from grassroots now. Like, I mean, you will see just beautiful, humble Belizeans, and that's the way I love.
Yeah.
So how do the visits go? Do you visit, what kind of locations do you visit? Tourist locations, or it's restaurants, random places? How do you
I think it's a little bit more of the right fit for the show. So there's 3 segments to the show. The first one is trying to meet local tourism entrepreneurs. And in this first episode tonight, we're going to be kind of like meeting up with Senbedi, Larrieu.
Larrieu Senbedi.
What's that?
Larrieu means children of, so it's children of Senbedi.
Oh, wow.
Which is a drumming group.
Yes.
Wow.
And so just to get their feedback on how they got started and where do they see themselves, right? There's Sean climbing a coconut tree. So again, it's a very different angle from, I think, anything that has ever been produced in Belize for Belizeans, you know, in terms of travel. We've done some of the most amazing things. And going back to your question, one of the caveats is that any company that hosts us has to give us a free package of whatever exactly what we do, so that we could give back to our locals. 2, they have to have a local community effort. So like most of these companies we've visited so far do a lot for locals, or they have a local price for them. So it's not at random. Yeah. And the last segment is actually where we actually interview the tourism entrepreneur who hosted us to kind of talk about some of the struggles and challenges, because it's never easy taking the leap of faith and starting your own company. And I think we need to inspire, again, going back to the theme of the show, is to inspire locals to travel, but also to show that there's a lot of people out there who are passionate enough and they can make it in the industry.
You said something so important, and I think we need to talk about it more. You talk about local entrepreneurs. We mean Belizean entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And it feels more and more that the tourism market is becoming a bit more skewed towards foreign investment than Belizean investment. Tell us a bit about what you have learned through the process so far about Belizeans who started and have been able to maintain their business so far.
Oh, wow. That's a big chunk.
Yeah. But we don't talk about it enough.
Yeah, I think you got to watch the show to see a little bit more on that. Good. But I think one of the things that we've seen, and Sean could maybe elaborate a little bit more, is consistency. Yeah. I think you have to be persistent in what you do, and I think the quality of services that you offer needs to be internationally recognized. Just like this show, you know, we're shooting this show in 4K. We're sparing no expensive in having drones and having GoPros. I mean, you name it, we have it. We've done, and we've been lucky enough to have most people welcome us as an international crew. You know, a lot of times you go to places and they
give you the Belizean treatment?
Yeah, they give you the Belizean treatment. I can, and Sean could testify that the few companies we've been to have really just rolled out the red carpet for us.
Fantastic.
I love your question, again, because I'm a chef and I'm in the hospitality industry. Many times you think, we always have this perception that foreign is better all the time. And many resorts, many big businesses in this country who are tourism, that's selling my country, our country, the Barrier Reef, the Mayan Ruin, they never give us a break for, say, like the management would always be, the people doing the laundry and everything will be Belizean. And when you get higher, it starts to dwindle down to not Belizeans. But we are meeting Belizeans, and again, the production company, everything is 100% Belizean. The work, the editing, I have to big up Mr. Petit, or he from PG. Remember, we're not going to film school in this country, right? And the man, they do a great, amazing job. You're that thing that is, you know, come from a foreign, but it's hard work. It's a lot of work. And again, we're up on a drone, we're in the air, in the water. I've lost a GoPro because I was too excited in the water, you know. So yeah, it's still a film now, right? They catch a grouper, but yeah, I just proud and Belizean, man, that's the point of it.
So the ultimate aim, as you pointed out, is to encourage Belizeans to travel Belize, right?
Yes.
Now, go ahead.
That's one. So there's 3, and that's why there are 3 segments. So one is to encourage the general Belizean public to travel more, to learn more about Belize and some of the cool places we have to offer that we seldom hear about. The second one is to encourage tourism entrepreneurs and to kind of document and have meetups with them so that, you know, people could relate and be like, you know, wow, he's going through the same thing I'm going through, right? So I'm not the only one, and I don't feel disencouraged because there's a lot of times when you're your own entrepreneur, you lack a really good mentor or case studies of other people. And I think in Belize, there's not a resource for that. So we're going to be that resource during that segment. And then the last segment is to win a giveaway. So you have to watch right to the end, and it's a Facebook Live, so you won't be able to just scroll the video to the end. And I think it's very important to highlight these three things for us and for the show.
This is interesting because normally when you deal with the package of tourism, you normally sort of, as you were saying, Sean, you bypass the Belizean product and you're presenting it for someone. So the Belizean population is almost an afterthought. But this seems to be doing the reverse.
Yes.
You're taking tourism and putting it on its head. It's almost like you're asking Belizeans to love Belize again.
I think that's one of the things that we are trying to, in a long term, try to have Belizeans have a better appreciation for what we have to offer. And often, and you nail it on the head, it's an afterthought. And I think the inverse engineering, if you may, is happening now because we're getting a lot of international fans, which we really didn't even target. But they're also getting excited to see how locals travel in Belize, from a local perspective. And I think a lot of travelers now want to travel in that way. They don't want to do the touristy things. They want to have real experiences. And that's exactly what we're having this show.
Well, one of the things I'm curious about, you seem to be speaking a lot about the private companies giving you support. And obviously it's a very successful show. I can't wait to see it. I don't know if you fell off that coconut tree.
One way for find out.
But what sort of support have you been getting from the BTIE and the formal?
Well, we haven't. It's really hard when you have just an idea, and because it's so very new and innovative, and it's only through Facebook. Even we've reached out to a couple of companies for support and sponsorship to keep shooting. So far, everything has been done through my production company. So we've been able to shoot 3 shows. So we have enough content to take us through to April, ending of April. We have scheduled to shoot next month again in the 3rd week. But going back to your question, I think it's very important that we rope in all these different organizations. And I've had some approaches with BTIA because initially I wanted to get a list of who's offering local rates and local specials because those are exactly who I want to partner with. And we've been approached by, just through our Facebook page, by different hotels, and they're like, oh, can you come? And I'm like, I would love to come, but maybe not film, right? Because they're just not a right fit.
And that was going to be my question. I understand very clearly how some businesses will seek you out to partner, but not all will necessarily be fitting for the show. In other words, how many hotel rooms can you feature in a show? Because they offer Belizean rates. So what's your filter? What do you want to showcase in your process?
I think one of the focus that we've done, and we've actually shot like this, every show we've filmed has been a day trip. Right? Whether we went to San Pedro and we were running to the north of the island, doing parasailing, jet skiing for 2 hours, jumping off the dock at Palapa Bar. It was a rush, and we haven't partnered with any hotels as yet. But I think that's going to be the long-term idea. And we have a webpage coming up pretty soon where we're going to want to also create additional features to these properties that are looking to cater, especially for the low season. A lot of times we make all this money during high season, but then low season really bad sometimes.
Right? Sean, you hit the nail on the head when you said and sometimes it's hard when you think about it that there's so many Belizeans who have not experienced just some of the beauty that this country, they watch it on television like tourists do and long to see what some of these islands look like and what it feels like to zip line and what it feels like to be on a jet ski. And I think the barrier has always been it's expensive. For some, we think it's more expensive than it actually is, and for some people, it really is cost prohibitive. What have you found in terms of how available these options really are for your average Belizean?
Wow, I think for a couple of companies, for the 3 companies that we've partnered with so far.
Okay.
Each of them, like I mentioned, they have a local rate. Some of them, if they have enough tourists, they might even take you for free. You know, they do a lot of community outreach. They have scholarships.
Great.
Splash Dive Center actually has a scholarship for Belizeans to learn to dive, fully paid for. And I think a lot of people just don't know. I think people in Placencia and the near vicinity know about it, but so I met somebody from Orange Walk who's never been to San Pedro, or who may never know or even think that this may be possible for them because, you know, diving just have a very pricey connotation.
You said that you were at the midpoint of your vision as to where you want to take this. Basically, you've taken an entire channel that is stuck at my house, the travel channel, and you kind of shrunk it into this thing which is so local to us with no barcode. Where's your final point?
I think we have, well, I have a lot more ideas for Belize Mek We Go, and I think just choosing the name right, because Mek We Go, not just Belize, you know, we could Mek We Go Caribbean.
Yeah, you could
Mek
do
We
anywhere.
Go. You know, the sky's the limit, and I'm already looking into some options into season 2. For next year, you know, where we're gonna start shooting places other Belizeans are currently living. You know,
At some point in time, you have to monetize it. You have to find a way to recoup. I'm sure Sean is not free. and there are overhead costs.
Yeah.
How do you see you meeting that challenge?
I think we've been able to, and just this week, again, going back to your question before, trying to sell somebody something new is really hard. So I think going live today and seeing the engagement and the reach, we're looking at targeting a couple of corporate companies who would target our local audience. You know, so we've reached out to a couple of them. 2 out of the 3 have been interested. But again, I think it's really hard for them to understand how this is going to work.
Yeah.
So we even gave them a sample of how your feature would look, and you know, through product placement and through different spots within the show that we're gonna feed live on Facebook. So everything is pumping a lot of innovation, and so I'm not worried that in this first episode people don't know how you would be featured.
Yeah.
But after they see, they'll be like, Maynor, can I get on it?
Yeah.
You know.
That'll give them a great idea.
Yeah.
So Sean, we have you here. Tell us some of the behind the scenes fun. Shooting in one day.
Dream job.
Good thing I got experience like you, right? With you. First of all, I like what you said. Like, is it? You asked if it's feasible or how. First of all, we like to think that we go to Playa del Carmen, we go to Cancun, we go to Orlando, we catch a flight, we pay a lot of money because we want to go to Disney World and we want to go to water theme parks and stuff, which is all staged, right? Shooting like this is not staged, it's not scripted. We don't know what happened, attack leak Creole, attack English. I mean, it just happens if crab bite me or whatever, that's just what happened. I leave these episodes with a natural high, and I never think I could have said, because usually I drink caffeine or I drink a league Guinness or something to get a high, right? But I leave sometimes, like when you're parasailing, and you get up there, and then you stop here the engine of the boat, and the barrier reef, and it just gets so quiet, and you hear, instead of being vulgar with expletives, I'm starting to have, I'm having adjectives like wow and OMG, and this is my country, and I start to like
progress in itself.
look at that, like an Anna rehab, bro. But then the next morning we leave the barrier reef and we end up in the jungle. Now tell me which country in the world you could do that, brother?
Yeah.
This is my Belize, and this is just, we're in a cave tubing, and we ended up that day exiting, I'll tell you, at 6:30 p.m. We got in the sun, it get dark. When we come out, not true?
Yeah.
The stars are out.
And you're on the river just floating.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
it was
Ancient Maya, Xibalba,
really,
like
really
boy,
nice
you can't
experience.
explain. Boy. And Belizeans, I'll tell you, you asked about price. Many of these companies offer local discounts. They're begging Belizeans to come. I mean, what more? I just had a great, amazing time.
Did you do anything for the first time so far in the shoots?
Yes.
Tell us.
Never parasailed.
And what was it like?
What
was your assumption going in, and what was it really like?
Well, I got a high. I was high above. No, man, it's just, again, you know, I Belize and I see it, and I say, boy, that was it. Like, I've never, like, you talk about it, it may be expensive or something, but it's not that bad because they offer packages, and you can win this, like, starting tonight. If you look at it, you can win these shows and packages. Jet skiing, many of the things I've never done before. Somebody I do before, like the drumming, and I just had a great time. And then Jer, of course, you see, when the bank had the marketing strategy, he picked me, but I had the only one, so we had to come. We had to have somebody who catch your attention. That's why you stop watching Travel Channel and they watch you. So, Jer first time climbed coconut tree.
Oh, and you taught her?
No, we had a young man that taught us.
Oh.
I mean, a baton for support. Looking at the coconuts. Hi, Marlene. But yes, just simply amazing. Make I tell you another thing. We Belizean resorts and stuff, like you see this lady right here, so right? You go to a resort, you have a menu and you have this. I mean, we're on stage, right? But you know what part of the best part of any property? That is behind the scenes, you know, the staff kitchen, you know. Another way they put the lasagna and the things up front for to get the audience. The back there we got the split peas and pigtail. So these are the people I interview, right? And then I just had an amazing time.
The selection process, because you have the perfect product, Belize, and you have the most apropos guest, hosts.
Yeah, she's beautiful, I tell you.
But what drives the show more? Is it the personality of Sean and the beautiful young lady who is the co-host? Or is it the destination? Is it the people? Is it the perfect storm? What drives the show?
That's a tough question. I think it's variable factors that contribute to that. I think the uniqueness of Belize, the uniqueness of the people who we're meeting, and the locations. And of course, our co-hosts.
I think it's a perfect storm.
Yeah.
And if I have to big up the editor too. You know why? They're thinking hard. And Marlene will know. And I will tell you, I use the analogy, and Mr. Kevin, I will talk to you, director Marlene, over here this party. But when you see the editing, and it, like I said it already, it moves so fast. And the episodes are not long, they don't 1 hour you watch, you don't get bored. It captures your attention for 6 to 9 minutes. And I always say, you give a lead date, a young girl, and you know, give you a last kiss, but you know you want it tomorrow again, so that then you want more. That's exactly where you have to big up the editor again. But these are the kind of things, you just capture your attention. You make you know watch Travel Channel, you have to watch Belize Mek We Go.
All right, so we heard Sean's perspective,
Hi,
but
Marlene.
we do have, you said your other co-host, Geraldine Sosa, is out of the country, but she did send a special message this morning. So let's take a moment to hear that.
Good morning, Belize, and good morning to everybody out there at the studio. I'd like to say thank you for inviting us on the show today. And well, with regards to your first question, I think Belize Mek We Go can only be described as an unbelievable opportunity, simply because it's not every day that we get to experience something new in our own country, a new adventure, visit a new place, and that's what we're trying to highlight on the show, so that locals can get to know the jewel and can get to travel and see what places fit best for their activities, whether it be family activities or activities with friends. And one thing that has been consistent throughout the whole country has been the Belizean hospitality. You know, everybody's trying to make sure that you're having a great time, that safety precautions are being taken so that you can be safe and you can just enjoy the best of the experience without having to worry too much. All right, so this question is a little harder for me because I've basically enjoyed all of the places that we have visited so far, but I think if I had to choose, it would probably be Laughing Bird Key, just because as a part of the Barrier Reef system, it is a World Heritage Site, and you know, almost immediately off its shores, you can go snorkeling and witness different types of coral, of sea creatures, different types of fishes, stingrays, turtles, and you know, this is something that we like to boast about, and this is something that we should all witness and, you know, learn a little bit more about, so that we can protect and so that we can promote Belize and promote its sea creatures, promote the diversity that we have, and just embrace it all and just, you know, explore our own backyard. I think more than revelations, this show basically just confirms the fact that Belize has such a diverse culture and such diverse landscape that one day we can be, you know, cave tubing, having an ATV adventure, and then the next day we'll be down south having beach drumming, snorkeling, and just enjoying the sea and the beach. So I think that's something that we should be proud of and that we should explore and try to just take it all in.
And there you heard it from your other co-hosts as well. And I'm glad, you know, obviously there's a balance between the two of you, and I'm sure there's great energy. We've seen some of the previews already. And I'm pretty sure she's blessed with a lot of patience too. But tell us about having this shared experience. It's not just you, it's somebody else as well who's being able to join in on the experience.
Well, of course, with my personality, you need the yin and yang. You have to have that balance. I mean, if not, you just go to work. She's amazing. And, you know, I am bold and forward, I think, and you can see it, and she comes with the calm, and it just works. And her questions and when you climb the coconut tree, it's really her first time.
Yeah.
And it's just
so
awesome.
It's an authentic experience.
It's authentic,
yeah,
and not staged.
So the episodes themselves, they're shorts.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're aiming for how long?
We're trying to keep everything within 8 minutes.
Okay.
So let me just recap. So one episode will have 3 segments. And we'll be releasing each segment once a week. So tonight at 9:15, we're going to be premiering on Facebook Live.
Yes.
The first episode, the first segment of the first episode. And thereafter, every Friday, we're going to be launching 8-minute segment. And the total is, for one episode, is 3 segments. Like I mentioned, it's 3 different sections. They meet up with a young entrepreneur, the actual experience, and then the giveaway on the third segment. And
because we had viewers who were asking how they can see it, where is it going to stream live?
Wow, so it's going to be streaming live on our Facebook fan page. It's Belize Mek We Go on Facebook. So all you have to do is add Belize Mek We Go, and we have actually done a schedule of the live feed. So it's our last post. It's pinned to the top, and that's where we're going to start live streaming at 9:15 tonight.
Okay, and it's going to be every Thursday after that?
Every Friday after that. We just our aim was February 1st, so we couldn't move it. And I know Fridays might be kind of iffy with internet, so we're also a little bit worried about that. So we said, let's start on Thursday.
Fridays are iffy with internet? Oh, too much traffic.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, not too much traffic, but I think too much people on internet slows down the bandwidth sometimes. So we're having so many challenges shooting this show, you know, just locally, because we don't have the international resources.
And you have a crew of 2.
We have a crew of 2, yeah. So basically,
aside from the host.
Yes, actually 3. We have somebody with the mics. We have somebody behind 2 cameras all the time, and I'm behind
1 person, 2 cameras.
Yeah, so they could shoot the wide angle and then just move around, getting the close-ups. And then in one of the episodes, actually, I think the one tonight, you'll see me running through, but we couldn't edit me out with the camera. So I'm also shooting photos, because it's very important for us to capture great photos of the locations that we go to.
Your background is marketing?
Yes, so I have a bachelor's degree in international marketing with a major in international commerce. But for the past 7 years, I've gone into more digital marketing per se. I'm also a web designer, photographer, and I don't want to keep people. But yeah, so we try to, within our team, you know, we have a lot of resources. So we look at everything from production, you know, we're almost looking at it before we leave. Because once we leave, that's it. You know, we can't be like, oh, we should have made do this, you know, or, oh, that's it. What we have is what you see.
Now, from our perspective, we know how difficult it is to shoot anything in one day, because there is what's actually happening and all the other shots that you want to get as well. How were you able, I mean, how satisfied are you with what you were able to capture in any one episode that you've done so far?
I think I'm very satisfied.
Yeah.
You know, for the time, especially the one that's going to air tonight, we had not the best weather. It was bleaky, it was gloomy. We had to stop at one point because it was drizzling. And so that cut into shooting time. And I think because we were able to shoot in 4K, we were able to bring back a lot of that footage. Of course, that meant additional hours of production. And again, I like to big up Mr. Pupillo, who hails from PG, who's been extremely patient with my perfectionist self. But at first I was like, I can't show people this, you know, it's so whitewashed. But I think we've made do, and we've come into terms that, you know, we can only get better after this. But I think I'm quite satisfied.
And I have to ask this question, and I hate asking it because people have different experiences. And I can say that if I travel somewhere, you know, people are very friendly, they're very hospitable, but we always hear the complaint of Belizeans saying that they go to an experience and they feel that they're getting what we said before, the Belizean treatment, which isn't the standard treatment. It's substandard, actually. What has been your experience so far in your shooting? And from the interviews themselves, Sean, what are people saying about this particular issue?
I think we've been in the pre-selection process of who we're going to partner for this show. I think that's one of the filter questions. Yeah. So definitely it won't be a right fit for us to promote a place that's not going to give our locals the same treatment as a foreigner. Yeah. So I think so far we've only done companies that, from my experience, are good with Belizeans. So I think we haven't had that issue just yet. Yeah. But I think maybe down the road it might. Yeah. We've been able to steer clear from that so far.
Do you paint it's like a highlight reel, because in 6 minutes or 8 minutes, with Sean's personality and surely his eye for things that are not on the beaten path, there must be some challenge in terms of putting together a package which focuses on exactly what you want. Okay. My question is, in terms of what you finally put out, how do you choose between, for example, maybe Sean, maybe you were very interested in the cooks or the food, but the nature and flora and fauna was such that, man, I can't. How do you choose?
Wow, I think for Everett and I, that has been one of the biggest challenges, because we come back with not just 8 hours of one camera footage, but 8 times 5, so 40 hours of camera footage. And I think we start piecing it together, and then Everett will reduce it to maybe like a 20 minutes so we could review. And then from there, we start looking at, okay, what's not really adding to our main objective.
Main objectives, yeah. Because there's what you like, but there's what you're trying to achieve.
So that's been one of the biggest challenges. And I think laying out the first segment too, because it's the very first one. You know, I think after this, the rest will follow suit in terms of the effects and the transitions and the whole production of it. But I think getting the first one to a place where we like it was very difficult.
How long was the production? How long did it take to edit it?
Probably this month.
A whole month?
A whole month, yeah.
8 minutes?
For 8 minutes,
yeah. Well, and will people, after watching Belize Mek We Go, have real tangible tips of how to travel the country?
That's one of the main focus. Yeah. So definitely, I think just getting the Garifuna drumming experience at Laughing Bird Key, you know, and maybe a step back, you know, where is Laughing Bird Key?
How do you get there? The water taxi doesn't take you.
And a lot of people don't know, but it's free for Belizeans to go there. All you have to go is get there. Right? But that's what we're gonna show you, how you can how you can get there in a very affordable way.
Marketing sometimes bypasses some of the challenges, like some of the bad side of travel. Do you incorporate any of the challenges that you might face?
You should do a bloopers.
I think we could. Oh yeah, we've had a lot of challenges. I mean, I've lost my truck keys. We almost spent the night at Caves Branch. We were all tired. You know, so definitely, I think those will be some of the bloopers. Not per se in the show. Yeah. But again, one of the main highlights is local tips. So I think in the show itself, it won't show you, but if you want more information, that's why we're building a bigger content piece, which will be the web page. Yeah.
Well, a couple of things. You may ask a question earlier about locals, what was it again?
Local tips or local treatment?
The treatment, yeah. You have to remember certain things like logistics changes, especially in tourism. Like, for example, the harvest key that happened, that took away a lot of the tourism that usually goes to the zip lining and the cave tubing.
Yeah.
So the company now invested in a lot of equipment and vans and like over 400 tubes. And now suddenly a portion of that market went down. So now he's welcoming Belizeans.
Yeah.
He wants Belizeans for that. Secondly, like for example, the key carrier ship went down. Now everybody has to go by boat. That's another logistic. And now we have to have more boat traffic. And that's, I guess, good tips that, you don't have the airstrip anymore. You have to catch a water taxi. And so that's a good question. And maybe we can put it in there, like tips and advice. Maynor said earlier, or the last, Lonely Planet said we have what?
2,100 activities.
2,100 activities.
Wow.
And that was so like, oh my God, 1980s. We've doubled that, man. And these are
That's still a lot.
that's a lot, but we have more.
Yeah.
So we have
Because
more.
every day something happens and things happen and changes. And now we even have things like food tours and stuff and chocolate making. And they think never exists in the past.
Yeah.
So we have that Lonely Planet, we have to update that, right? But yes, it's very...
So it's very adventure driven from what we're seeing. Parasailing, ATVing, zip lining. It's more the adventure tours that seems to be your focus.
I think for now we started off with those which are more catchy, if you may. But I think down the road I want to, tell the untold story. Go to a village in PG and do a tour nobody has even heard of. So again, going back to that segment of young tourism entrepreneurs, this will also be an outlet for them, and for them to be on the show is just free. They just have to reach out to us on Facebook and invite us to come.
And offer a free package.
And offer a free package. Just the two caveats.
So people can watch and know that they have a chance of having that very same experience.
Exactly.
How are the winners selected?
Wow. So
is that a secret that we can't talk about?
No. We could mention how
we need the tips,
process.
right?
Yes.
That's what the show is about.
All they have to do is comment on what they think of the show. That's it. As simple as that, and then you'll enter our raffle. We're gonna do another live on the beginning of episode 2, where we're gonna use a software to where everybody's name is gonna be, and we're gonna raffle it live, so everybody could see how the software works and everybody's names, how many entries we have, and everything's gonna be online.
It's one raffle entry per comment, or per person.
One raffle entry per comment.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So that means it's going to be a whole lot of traffic on that show because people are going to want these prizes. What's the one experience you've had so far that you should tell people? No, you must, if you have a prioritized list of activities, do this. Tell me.
That's what kind of question that?
You got to prioritize it. Listen, okay, so I have a tight budget. I want to take my whole family, and I can only do one this first 6 months. What should I go after?
Stay within the borders.
Well, that much we're saying. Tell us from your experience from the show.
Well, certain things are free. A lot of, for example, all niche managed properties, like on a Sunday, you could go to San Antonio for free. You could go to Laughing Bird Key for free. So you have to remember, Belizeans, you're done blessed because you're a Belizean already. A lot of these things and a lot of places you can go for free, and especially on weekends. Some of them, well, if you go to some place, you have to incur a cost. So if you stay on the mainland, for example, you catch a bus, you could go to Jaguar Pa, and then you get a discounted rate. So that one you could carry the family. I mean, cave tubing, and it's just serene, I mean, like again, the parasailing one. It shut off your brain, brother. It really does. Like, you get up there, you can't say nothing. You don't hear, you don't see. We saw stingrays, we saw everything. It just shut off your mind a little bit.
Okay, so it seems parasailing is his choice.
Yes.
By deduction.
Cave tubing and parasailing. Inland is cave tubing.
Yes, and then of course the Garifuna drumming. And what we like is we help these young men, and you always hear stories. Think about any artist you know in this country. Give me a name. Coconut boy, whatever. They're not gonna no school for that. They just rise, like when I cook at the cream rice at the top. It just happens, and these people all of them started, I was young, and I may want to be like my mentor. I may want to be like Andy Palacio. So Steve Chance, people I play, I practice. Now they one bottle of the drums. And that's how the story got. And the next 10 years, I mean, Garifuna Collective members used to be my band members, and we have the same Sheldon Petit, Alabama. Now they're traveling Europe, imagine that. So the sky's the limit.
Was there a challenge for you? Some of the things you've done before, Was there a challenge for you doing it a second or a third or a fourth time for television?
No, not at all.
And
Not
why?
at all. No, I mean, and I used to be a shy guy, and I used to be afraid of the camera. But no, man. I have like again, I have to big up the cameraman because then, man, I just throw a mud all over your face. I have to stop, wash it off, come back again. No, adrenaline, you forget everything. It's like I could remember one spell I said, this was like one of the best weekends ever for me.
Wow.
Best, like, yeah, my life.
Wow.
Because the Saturday we were in the jungle and the next day we were on the Barrier Reef snorkeling. 24 hours. Amazing, sir. Amazing.
All right. So with that, I think that's enough for people to say tune in tonight. Best weekend ever.
But okay, the problem because I don't know what I do. I have to watch Bolido or go tune in tonight. Or check out Travel Channel. So better debut Bolido.
I think that's why we schedule it at 9:15, right?
Okay.
Right, to give Bolido at least 15 minutes break.
So the show officially airs tonight on Belize Mek We Go Facebook page. It's going live at 9:15 p.m.
Yes.
And people can check it out, make their comments so that they can be a part of the raffle and get to see how to travel like a local.
This will be good.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, looking forward to it. Thank you for coming in and sharing the behind the scenes, and best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back in a few. Stay tuned.
Hi Belize, stay tuned for the grand premiere of Belize Mek We Go in only
5 days. Belize.
Mek We Go.